Oh my God, I drop the shit like a pigeon. I hope you're listening. Smacking baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
We don't be shit like this. I thank the Lord for my revelation. From the down of the center west. And all my niggas in the pig. And we go again. Ain't nothing separating us from a
Man, shout out to Danny Boy. He's filling in for Azariah Malone Cartagena. I was there, okay? And I know due to the show, I've been telling y'all some stories. We call it Joper moments. Stories that was never heard or told before. And sometimes it's questionable. Sometimes you could say, damn, man, is he lying? But I'm not, and I never am, right? So when they recorded those vocals, I was in Madison Square Garden. Big Daddy Kane was performing. I had Flojo. It's the only song I had out, and it was #1 in the country. Here comes Tupac and Biggie from out the back, the tunnel, Madison Square Garden. The crowd's going crazy because this is when Juice is on fire. And so everybody's looking. He stops and he goes, yo, Crack, come on. So I go with him. I go with Tupac and Biggie and go on stage. And y'all know the rest of the story. I told you this a million times. They got to rock. They did it. When they passed me the mic, Big Daddy King said he ain't have enough time. All right, cool. I was there, though. Like, I was there. Big Daddy King confirmed. I mean, the 40,000 people that was there, I was there. And so I say shit, but sometimes it sounds unrealistic because to you who watching, you might have never met Biggie. You might have never met Pac. And so I was there, right? And Biggie, they dropped a documentary today that I'm so happy. It was so necessary. When you thought you knew everything about B.I.G., we finally got to understand where he got the musical influence from. We're going to allude to that. My mother's on the check-in. Shout out to my sister, Lisa. My sister passed away. Today's a real day, guys. Today's not a game. Today we're going to talk about big. We're going to talk about some real shit. I just want to go there. Today. And being that this is our platform and we own it together, we go wherever we want with it. We have our own media company. We don't have a boss. We don't have nobody to tell us what to do. And so when a legendary documentary comes out based on Biggie Smalls comes out today, we talking about that. And my sister Lisa, beautiful. She's maybe a year older than me. She was giving birth. The doctors put an epidural. I don't know if you know that. It's when women are in too much pain, they give them the epidural, and it numbs them from the waist down so they don't feel the pain. Unfortunately for my sister, this was Bronx Lebanon Hospital in the concourse. The epidural went from the waist up. And from lack of oxygen to her brain, she fell in a coma, and she was in a hospital, adult, whatever you want to call it, right? Like your rehabilitation center for 8 months. And my mom's went there every single day. Mom, I'm not trying to make you sad. It's bad enough this is a sad day. But so we went, and every time I went, my mother and father was there every day. This is why I consistently am there for my parents, for my whole entire family, for people with me, because you got to lead from example. And so I learned from my mother and father. They never ran away from any type of turbulence or any problem. They stood frontline. And so unfortunately, 8 months later, my sister passed away. In the strangest way in the universe, it was almost good news because I was tired of seeing my sister in that state. If anybody has went through that in their life, they understand. Also, her kid passed away as well while she was giving birth. So we had to do a funeral for a little baby. And we still here. And some of you guys, you sponsored a library in her name. You right, Ruben. Yo, Ruben Diaz, the Bronxboro president. I sponsored a library in the school, a bunch of computers, and they named the library in the school after Lisa Marie Cartagena. And but life is gonna throw shit at us. And I was having a discussion yesterday with a friend that says, "Hey Alexa," that says he has to be high. A young boy, he has to be high to make the music. He has to be in a different place, different zone, high. Like pills and all this shit. And I got friends that smoke 1 million cigarettes because they're stressed. And I try to tell them, you can't be more stressed than me. I've never got high, and I've been making hits my whole life. So I don't really understand, but everybody is their thing. But it's my sister's birthday, March 1st. She's a Pisces. Whenever this time comes around, we get really, really, me. Days like this, days like Pun, it feels weird. When you wake up, you already know something's wrong. But mommy, I love you. You was very strong. You've been very strong. I know we've been through a lot, Ma, and we still here, right? So I got to acknowledge my sister. First of all, Lisa, I love you. You know what it is. All her friends that still keep it real and call my mother, like Pita and what's her name? Jess and all her friends her friends still keep in contact with my mother and show her love. So shout out to them because I know it's a tough day for them too. Biggie Smalls, right? So I'm looking at this documentary. Oh, shout out Lee Daniels, Andra Day. They won the Golden Globe. If you did not see on Hulu, I've told you first. You don't need these people, these critics to tell you. I told you first when I saw the movie that it was a classic and they was going to win awards and this and that, and you didn't believe me. They captured Billie Holiday's life so incredible. This woman, Andra Day, she acted so incredible. And it's only right they won the Golden Globe. I knew they would. I gotta get on here. I'm on Tracy Morgan's ass because he told me when Coming to America was about to come out, he was coming on the show. This guy FaceTimes me all the time and tells me a million jokes, but he still hasn't been on the show. And you guys should feel offended too. You should at Tracy Morgan and tell him, come on the biggest show in the game, right? So Biggie Smalls, Brooklyn, New York. I knew Biggie Smalls since he first started. I met him at the Lyricist Lounge. He battled about 20 different rappers and killed them all. At the time, FloJo was already ringing off. I'm in the crowd. I meet him. And Puff Daddy was there with him. And so I told Biggie, yo, Biggie, I want to hire you because I was rapping and throwing parties, promoting parties up at the Fever with Sal Abatello. And so I gave Biggie his first real show that he made $1,000 in a bottle of Moet. So he came, he ripped it down, and I'm telling everybody they didn't know Biggie yet. And I'm like, yo, he's going to be the biggest in the game. Shout out DJ Surge. He DJ'd that night too. Yo, these niggas, they pop out as soon as the story comes where they're near it. They yo, Surge, you was there DJing that night. And so we got the flyer, I could post it. And so we had such a relationship. So I used to go to Biggie's house in Brooklyn. And I'm going to just keep it a buck. He lived in the building. We go in his house. We sit down. We talk shit for hours. Next thing I knew, Biggie was number 1, 2, and 3 on Billboard. It was simple as that. It was overnight his success. It was overnight he became the biggest guy in the game. Shout out to DJ Scratch. What's up, baby? And so I remember one night I was in Biggie's house and he was with me. He had a hockey jersey on. I had, like, I guess Flojo time, I had a green army fatigue, discus shirt, and probably some chuckers, some Timberland chuckers. When we in the street, you know, we hard, we talking hip hop, we this and that. So he invited me to a party. When I went that night, he had a salmon suit on with salmon gaiters with a hat, and I was like, holy shit. This guy's a fucking superstar. He's a fucking superstar. And I couldn't believe it. He was up there. There's famous pictures that night that Ed Love is in. I think Rob Love. Just an amazing picture, right, of that night. And that's when I knew he was big. He went away on tour. We kept in touch. We talked almost every day on the phone. And I remember I pulled up. I tell you this story before, but I'm just painting the picture for you. Joey got a story to tell, believe that. So I remember going to a Vibe party in Manhattan. Not party, party. As I pull up, there's about 500 people around a SUV. As I'm walking closer is Biggie Smalls. He's standing on the shit, on the car, standing up there. He had Little Kim with him. And of course, they the biggest thing in the whole world, let alone New York City. It's king of New York. So I see him from far. This is the gem. I told you the story before, but listen to the gem. I'm not up here wasting my time. I'm teaching you shit. And so I said, nah. I didn't go up to him because I said, nah. He probably changed. And so I was guilty, like all the people that you heard of who says somebody changed, somebody this. Sometimes it's your perception of the person. They might have never changed, but in your mind, because they're successful, you say to yourself, oh, they changed this and that. G-Spin, what's good? And so the minute I went to turn, I hear a voice, yo, crack, yo, crack. I turn around, it's B.I.G. Yo, crack, come here, man, yo. So I go over there, yo, what's up, my brother, this? And the man, I had just dropped my album maybe a week before my second album. So he grabs Little Kim, he embarrassed her, Little C's. He said, tell him what we've been listening to all day. And they were like, your album. Yo, you step your stills up. And he just made me feel, I don't know if it's a big boy thing. Because Fred the Godson would do the same thing. Rest in peace. I don't know if it's a big boy thing, but he made me feel so special that day. And the lesson I learned is to not judge people and say they've changed or think they've changed till you really build with them and see if they changed. So now I wake up this morning, my phone's going off crazy. It's my daughter, it's Dre, it's everybody. Yo, the Biggie thing came out, the Biggie thing came out, the Biggie thing came out. Thank God I had a little hour or two. I sit on the couch, I press play on Netflix. It was so refreshing. They was ahead of their time. Shout out to my brother D-Rock, who knew to capture the moment. I don't have that. If Fat Joe dies, just like Big Pun died, rest in peace, we didn't have nobody filming us. We don't have that footage. I don't have it. I don't know how D-Rock thought about it and filmed so many amazing moments. Biggie freestyling at 14, 13, when he first went to the studio. He had a jazz musician that lived on his block who was a big time guy. And he was trying to teach Biggie jazz, but Biggie was telling him, I want to rap. So he taught him these drum patterns, how to flow. You know, every time you see, when Rick Ross came on here, not comparing the two, but Rick Ross said his mother only had one record, and it was Centipede. Centipede. So he said if you listen to Centipede, you would know that every time he raps, he's rapping to that Centipede beat. That's how he learned how to rap and get his cadence. That's his style. Well, Biggie, a jazz musician, I wish I knew his name. He taught Biggie this drum pattern, and Biggie learned to rap to that. And so they said if you take any one of Biggie's songs and you throw it to that drum pattern, that's how Biggie learned to rap. With most families in the hood, mine's too. Biggie came from a good family, from a great mother. She worked. She had no clue that this guy was ambitious, that he was hustling. Same thing with my mother. She didn't know I was in the streets, getting in trouble, doing all type of shit. One day, she found crack cocaine in his room on a plate. And when he came through the door, she screamed on him because he forgot. He was like letting it dry up. She screamed on him and was telling him, why did you leave those mashed potatoes on a plate? It smelled nasty. She threw it out. And so these are real shits. There's kids out there right now in trouble, around the wrong crew, ambitious, that their parents don't know what's going on right now. All they know is that they're working hard. And so who killed Biggie? Why they killed Biggie? If Biggie was so loved, why would they kill Biggie? If Biggie had no beef and he started with nobody, why did he die? It's a question I've asked myself over and over and over and over and over again. Years and years and years. And it's crazy because this was a guy I've had conversations with while he was alive. And he never wanted the beef. He never asked for the beef. And so that really hurts. Because every death hurts. But if you know you got a boy that's wild for the night, and you know that guy killed, you know that guy's crazy, sooner or later he's bound to get killed. And if he gets killed, we could cry for him, but we do know he was in a lot of shit. But when you talk about a guy who changed his life, who wanted to take care of his family, his mother, who made it. He made it. And to be so loved and get killed, right? It just gets to me every time. It's a must-see movie. The Biggie story, I got a story to tell. Shout out to my brother Buck Wow, who produced the original Story to Tell. UFO Thief. And so we all been in situations where we almost died because of hip-hop. I've been in my share of barely getting out alive I was in Chicago one time. I don't know what the fuck happened. It's a bunch of artists, but the place just went crazy. Right when I was about to perform. Riots, this. I watched them. I don't want to say it in a bad way. If the word is a small person, a very small person, right, was in a wheelchair. And the shit got so crazy, he pulled out the Mac on stage. Like, it was just like, you really thought you wasn't getting out alive. And it's when Lean Back was number one, and I hadn't got to do it. And so my DJ, LV, shout out to LV and Sean C, he took the shit off so quick, the wires off, and was running with his equipment like, I mean, the shit was crazy. Okay? When you got the midget pulling out the Mac on a wheelchair, this shit nuts. They was pushing me. Chicago was like, go, like, right? But why I say that day I could have died? Because my pride wouldn't let me just leave like a sucker. I had to stay there. I told LV, put the fucking music on and let's go out with Lean Back. And so they all fighting. Oh, yes, man. And I walk on stage. I don't give a fuck about your folks, so mishap. And everybody forgot they were fighting and started partying. That's just one. I got about 1,000 you won't believe. It's just one. And so this game will test you. Was Biggie out there too long? I think so. Just because of the vibes. He had nothing to do with the Tupac thing, but still. Still animosity. There's some people that might have been jealous, whatever. Was he out there too long? I think so. We can't change it. We can't do nothing about it. But when you was from New York or anywhere, and you heard Notorious B.I.G. got gunned down, and shout out to Steve Lobel, he was the first person who called me. I still lived in the Bronx, Drosnick. And the second you heard, the first thing you thought was like, why was he out there? Right? Like, why was he in L.A.? And so, these are growing pains. These are things that really happen in life that we can't change. Long live B.I.G. The real king of New York. I can't get enough of him. And the last thing I ever saw, because I'm in New York, baby girl's in Miami. The last thing I saw with my daughter was that New Edition story that BET did. And so with the Biggie, she kept stopping. Dad, he was number one. He was only getting 10,000 a show. I was like, Mom, I had the number one. I said I had the number one song in the country and I was getting $500 a show. The money was different. Years ago, Magic Johnson was the first guy with $1 million check a year. Now you got bums getting $149 million. We're not mad at them. He paved the way and still found a way to be successful. But Guys like us, Biggie was the #1 guy in the world. He was getting 10,000 a show and happy. He said, man, I do 4 of them a week. 40,000. 40,000, 80,000, 160. That wasn't bad for a guy who used to have to sell cracks on Fulton Street. And so when you know that you've been risking your life every day, that your friends got murdered, that your friends is gunned down, and you see all this shit, and then you want to do something for your mother. And so when you rapping and you making that money, it's a blessing. And that's why when I see these young boys and I try to give them advice, I say, yo, bro, this ain't it. Or you see me and 50 Cent squash that beef. That was going nowhere. That wasn't going nowhere good. Because I know what I'm capable of, and I'm sure he's capable of whatever. That wasn't going nowhere nice. But unfortunately, we learned that fact from Biggie and Tupac. And everybody says, every broke motherfucker you know says, yo, bro, if I had the bag, I would look out. Yo, if I have it, I'm hooking everybody up. Yo, here's a guy, he hooked everybody up. Crazy. And so Biggie, he showed his origins in Jamaica. His uncle inspired him. You know, his uncle do the chanting and all that. So they went to, we didn't know Biggie was going back to Jamaica every summer. Jumping in the water, chilling. We didn't know he worked with the jazz guy. And so, amazing. It's a must-see thing. You know, it's crazy. And so I said real shit today. We're going into real shit. And so, I wrote some things down like I always write them down. I said, you know what? I was talking real shit. I went to see my sister yesterday. Remy, my goddaughter, Papoose. And Pap, I know you watching, so if I say too much, you stop me. But I pull up to our house. It's a long block. And their house is right there. It's a mansion, but a big one. So I pull up and I'm like, one, I wanted to cry. Two, I was so happy. I was so happy for my sister and her family. And so I walk up, I ring the buzzer. She opens the door. I got to take my shoes off. That's what happens when you walk in mansions. She's cooking for me. She made this beef, it's like a Korean beef. The thin joint with the bones, a little bit of rice, beautiful salad. My goddaughter, she loves me. But, you know, it's been COVID, so she hasn't seen me in person in a while. So she loves her godpapa, but she's holding off. Right? And everywhere you look from this house, she has an indoor pool. And the kitchen, you can look through the glass and see the pool. The side, they made this whole house around this Gigantic indoor pool. Windows to the sky. And so, I'm so happy. And we get to talking. We talking about this. We talking about that. We talking about jail. We talking about coming home. We talking about making it. We talking about family. You know that people are human. Your favorite baseball player is human. Your favorite basketball player is human. Your favorite rappers are human. And so they got feelings. And so who you can talk to other than another person in your position. And we talk about all type of shit. Our kids, our family, the type of shit they try to do. Oh, let me tell you this one. No, let me tell you that one. No, let me tell you this one. And so when you're an artist or whatever, it seems that whenever you make it, your family feels as if the proper thing to do or the right thing to do is pay everybody's bills. They no longer have to work or think for themselves or hustle or maybe be another success story in the family. You know, Fat Joe raps, oh, I got properties, I'm renting or whatever. No, it's like, he's a sucker. He ain't coming over here giving us this money. And so we get to talking the shit we can't really talk to you about. Because we ain't playing our friends, our family, or whatever the case may be. But we get to talking and you get to notice that, unfortunately, some of our friends want our life. Some of your friends want your life. If you're happy, they're not satisfied with theirs. They're looking at you and they saying, I want that. I'm that guy. And so we get to talking. I didn't know Pap and Remy had this. Devin Haney, what's up, my brother Champ? What's up, Champ? Woo! Boy, got hands. And so, in the hood or in the world, oh, y'all want to talk some shit? Y'all, look, fire signs if I'm on the right, if I'm on the right path, if this is the shit you might need to hear. If not, I stop. Fire signs. Fire signs. Okay, what you said, Dan? A lot of fire signs, they want that talk. No disrespect, ladies. One of the biggest things I ever learned from Don King is he said he washes his hands before he touches his thing, before he uses it. Because he knows where his thing been at all day, but he didn't know where his hands been at. Okay? Devin Havey. No. I had to use the restroom. And I let y'all think about it, man. Because ain't nobody kicking shit like Fat Joe. And I live this life for real. And so you get to talking. And we get to talking. I did not know Papoose and Remy Ma had this conversation before. But it's a hood thing, whatever. Have you ever noticed that when guys, stick with this one, nobody comes back from the dead. Nobody comes back from the dead. Meaning, I've never seen the realest guy in the world make a U-turn and come back. Yo, that shit was crazy over there. I'm back here now. And so you get one life. This ain't white. This is iller than white van talk, guys. Y'all with the white talk, van talk emoji. That ain't it. This is bigger. This is real shit. And so nobody comes back. You ever know a guy died? He's the biggest killer on earth. He can't come back. So he's the greatest killer in the world. He can't dig himself. He can't come back. And so I get to talking about, because we know situation that happened. Why is it that sometimes guys die and their girlfriends or wives somehow choose their best friend to be with after that? Fire signs. Fire signs if this is real shit. I'll move on if y'all not ready. But in the hood, I've seen this happen since the 80s. A guy with this other guy every day. This is his man's wife. She holds his hand every day. They're together. They love each other. Why, when his man dies, his best friend wants to fuck his wife? Did he always want your wife? And if you in the sideline, you ain't a killer, you like, damn, if Chito could come back from the grave. And so I've seen this my whole life in the hood. And I said, I don't know, it probably happens to rich people too. It did. There's a story. It could be a rumor. Ruben Diaz Jr. Yeah, this might be too controversial for you to be commenting, President. Fall back on your comments because this is real shit. Stay political, Ruben. Stay political. So the rumor is, it's a rumor. Yo, this is the realest show in the game, the biggest show in the fucking game. Don't lie to yourself. Like one of these clowns you looking at might throw you a joke or something to jam up your favorite rapper. It's even close to the shit Fat Joe be talking about. It doesn't exist. Or they could be grieving together. So your friend has to grieve with your wife and sleep with your wife. Yeah, they grieving. I said, yo, Rem, maybe a little wine and he reminds you of the guy and y'all want to, right? And so it happened to rich people too. So this is all rumors. I can't confirm this. It can be a lie. Okay? So just for purposing of talking, I'm going to talk. Aaron Hernandez used to play for New England Patriots. The man went to jail for like 3 or 4 murders or some shit. He blew the trial. Damn, Devin Haney. This is the champion of the world boxer. He says some people can't wait for you to die. Sheesh, to take your girl all along. And so what I say is, Aaron Hernandez, he blew trial. He's in jail for murder. Don't know if he did it. Don't know if he didn't do it. Chances are he did it. But listen. So Aaron Hernandez in jail. He finds a loophole. Allegedly, I can't prove this. I don't know if it's real. He finds a loophole where it says if he dies, his family will get $8 million. Something like that. The man takes his own life in jail so his family can get the $8 million so his wife, his daughter can have a future. I don't believe in suicide at any chance, shape, or form. But the man did it, so his family gets his money. I watch an interview. I'm not hating. I'm telling you the truth. I watch an interview where his best friend is with his wife. And they say he wouldn't have wanted it any other way. Really? Really? But it happens to rich people too, I guess, right? But he can't come back. I'm sure if he could come back, that shit wouldn't be happening. And so back to that part where I tell you some of your friends want your life. And you know what's crazy in the hood? Everybody's quick to tell you what to do with your money. They're not saying you. Today my nephew called me and said, yo, Unc, I got my license. Uncle Dan was quick to tell him, hey, we'll get you a car. Well, hold up. I know you're generous, Uncle Dan, but hold up. When you start saying, we're getting you a car, you're volunteering my money to buy him a car because you're not buying him a car. I would buy my nephew a car. But everybody, oh, no, bro. I'm the one paying. And so everybody tells you, yo, if I had it, I look out. If I had it, you know, I got you. Yo, this, that. And here's another thing, be careful of. We got a lot of people out here working hard, doing their thing. And we got some people on here that got a lot of money. You never really know who's your friends if you're always up, if you've always been in power. Because these people need you. And they want you to buy them dinners and they want you to take care of them. So they all act like they're loyal. They love you to death. So you never really know who your friends are if you're winning all the time. Buy him a white van, Joe. Damn, not my nephew, though, man. It would be a turquoise van, perhaps. It wouldn't be a white van. You guys are so disrespectful, but I get it. You with the shits. You know, you spend an hour with me every day. You want to hear that shit, but I'm giving you that shit. Some of you guys got to really look around. Me too, everybody. What the fuck going on? Because we can't come back. You know what I do in life is tomorrow I have a guest, the next day I have a bigger guest, the next day I have a bigger guest. I wanted to talk shit to tonight. Fantastic. Shout out Steve Lowe, the fantastic days. And so I wanted to talk shit today. If you've been appreciating this talk, some fire signs, please, because I might be going off the deep end. I judge people by their track record. Simple. Nowadays, it's too easy, especially with this social media, for somebody to come out of the fucking woodwork that we don't know. They could be bums, child molesters. We don't know what the fuck they are. And they come and they say something about somebody, an honorable person, and just like that, they destroy their reputation. And so I judge people by their track. All right, cool. Exhibit A. How this guy or this girl's been carrying themselves for 20 years. Well, I never heard of them stealing. I've never heard of them jerking nobody. Well, how's there people around? Everybody's eating. Everybody's doing just fine. So who's this bum over here spreading the rumors? And now we got to trust these people because they said it. And so I try to judge people by their track record, their honor, and their respect. It's just the way I do. So even sometimes, and I've been wrong. It's been sometimes when somebody looks guilty, out of this world, and I stand on principle, and I say, listen, this guy I gotta rock with him. And then if it goes bad, then, I know I kept it real with myself, with my morals. And so that's what I do. But that's how I move, guys. The way I move is not a lie. Today I'm at my store up in YC. This fat guy, well, this big guy like me, buys a couple of sneakers. He got a little fanny pack. I would never wear a fanny pack, by the way. But he got the fanny pack. He opens it and pulls out a mid of money like this. I don't know if he was stunting. I don't know if he was just fronting for me. But I got so happy. I didn't even know the guy. And I was like, oh my God, that's what I like to see. E. Philly, you was there with me? I said, yeah. He was like, yo, Joe, you see more. I was like, no, fuck that. I'm happy. You got money. And that's how you got to train yourself to be. Or the man big. Yo, hey, listen. That's a man bag? Man not know about them fanny packs? It's your style. Everybody got their own style. Me? Emphatically non-cipher. No worry. No way, Jose. That's just me. I could be played out. I'm dumb. Whatever you want to do. But I'm not wearing that shit. And so... They tuned in. The FDNY, they tuned in. Yep. The fire department is listening to this shit. His name is Mike Gator. Mike Gator, yo, the fire department is the NY fire department. And you know the fire department used to be crooks too. Hey. No, I'm telling you the truth. You ever seen the movie Gangs of New York? Well, the fire department used to be, with no disrespect, primarily Irish. They would act like you have a fire. They go in your house. While they turning off the flyer, they're looting and taking your money. It was a gang. It was a crew. Then it turned and it emerged to be a legitimate business. I'm not telling you something that ain't true. We love the fire department. I actually love the fire department more than the police. Do we need police? Yes. You need police. You get robbed, you get raped, you get anything, you can call in the cops. No, I'm telling you, many, many years ago, 100 years ago, when you see the movie Gangs in New York, that's what it was. But I mean, we love the fire department. You know, I don't have a problem with that. And so here we are. Biggest show in the game. Nobody comes close. And so every night, look at this, no guests, 2,000 people. Because you like that shit. Because you know why? You sit there and this guy, he from the mud. He from the bottom of the barrel. And he ain't scared to say it. He ain't in the mud no more. But he's still with us. The man's still with us. He's still walking these streets with us. And so no matter how much money I make, and I think I'm going to make a lot. I'm pretty cool. But I think I'm going to make a lot. And that's how you got to do it. That's how you have to think. If you're around people and you're an impressionable person, and I just heard this week that Joe listens, and I listen. When people I love tell me some shit, he said, one of my mans told me, yo, you've always been the guy, you know, the last person who tells you something, that's that shit you listen to, and you come in here because they told you something, and you on that shit. I never knew that I could be manipulated like that, but it's cool that my friends agreed. And you know what I said? Thank God they told me that, because now I need to work on not really listening to the last person who told me something. Just listen to the things that's right. Does that make sense? And so you take people who you love advice and you say, you know what? You say, all right, I'm going to work on it. And so that's how it goes. They want that Pistol Pete whistle, dog in the yard is, you know, the Fat Joe. I don't know what the fuck these people's talking about. Is the when somebody blows my mind, pause, I throw that whistle up. And so that's how it goes. Listen, COVID is very real. COVID is very real. It's still, I can't believe we're telling people you still got to wear the mask. It's been a year. It's been a whole year. You know that, right? Because it started right after the Super Bowl last year. And the last show I really, really did was in Salt Lake City. It was me, E40, Ja Rule, Ludacris. Sold out. But like the next day or something, it was COVID. I'm going to get the vaccine. I'm telling you, you're playing yourselves. The Knicks are my team. All of you guys went over there. Now, I'm not telling you that the Knicks are going to do better than Brooklyn. You guys have a legendary squad right now if they play together. But it tells a lot about you when you're over there in that Brooklyn arena when you used to be in the Knicks stadium all the time. And so not me. Not me. I stay loyal, Knicks Nation, no matter what. And guess what? We're winning. And you know, it's crazy to me, before I get off here, this kid asked me and said, Joe, should I be a Brooklyn fan or a Knicks fan? Now, this was a tough decision, because Knicks fan, but I've been suffering for 20 years. So if you want the easy way out, then go root for the Nets. Because they got Kyrie, KD, James Harden. I mean, if you want to be happier, you might want to go to root for them. Me, I'm loyal. I root for the Knicks. But I cannot believe that the kid stopped me in my tracks. To where I was like, oh God, what am I going to tell this kid? Because it's been hard. It's really been hard. And I feel for all fans, no matter where you're from, if your team never wins, this shit is hard. Somebody said, me too, Atlanta Hawks. Yes. It's hard to root for somebody all the time. And you like, yes, I went to the game 2 days ago. Play Indiana. We was down 16. In my mind, I was like, holy shit, here we go again. And so, and then we came back at the half. D Rose threw the shot. Shout out to Randall. Shout out to Quickly. He's a beast. I shouted out Obi Toppins. He hasn't done it yet, but he will. I believe in him. And so I like what the coach is doing, how he's rotating the players. I'm proud of my Knicks. Could have been worse. He could have been the kid that yelled at us and said, yo, wow. Yo, Ruben, Ruben, you gotta stop. Yo, Ruben, I know you're retiring. This is the Bronxboro prison. I know you're retiring, Ruben, but do you want me to tell that story? Is that what you're trying to tell me here? Yes or no? Ruben, just say yes or no. Or is it just an inside joke between us? Yo, Ruben is crazy. I know Hilda. I know your wife don't want us to tell that story.
He said no. He said no.
No. That's a personal. Yo, Ruben, you had me scared, man, because I was about to go there with that story. Look, everybody. Let your darkest moments bring your most clarity. It's when you're down and out. It's when you're struggling that you realize who's truly by your side. Who stands by you when you down and out? Who's with you through thick and thin? Let your darkest moments bring your most clarity. I'll give you another one of my favorite quotes. Shout out to Pretty Lou, my brother, cancer survivor. He'll be having the DJ show right after this. Check this out. You gotta stay in the game because you never know. You gotta stay in the game because you never know. And so here goes Dr. Dre, and he discovered NWA and Snoop Dogg and all that. Him and Suge Knight separate. He gives them everything. Dr. Dre stays broke. He gives them everything because he believed in his talent. He goes discover Eminem and 50 Cent. He might have made $50 million. But you thought he gave up. He stood in the game. You never know. And so he kept being in the game, and then he stumbles across with Jimmy Iovine, Beats by Dre. Now he makes $1 billion. So you have to stay in the game because you never know. And so, shout out to Hunts Point in the building. And so I ended with this. Believe in God in the good times and the bad times. I know it's hard. When something's going tough, we get a death in the family, something tragic happened. Some foul shit happens in the world. But you still got to say, God, I thank you for everything you've given me. Because sometimes people don't realize that just to see, to smell, to touch, to walk. This is legendary shit. To breathe. And so we got to thank God at all times. Peace, y'all. We the biggest in the game. And you don't know who I know.